So we're at the Green Party thing. Okay, so so you're with the Green Party, eh?
Yes, I am.
Okay. All right. So I asked you earlier if you believed in peak oil. You believe in peak oil, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So how do you think? Do you think peak oil is the cause of the economic problem, or is it related, or no?
I don't think it's a cause, but I think it's an immediate trigger. I believe what happened is a lot of people were already strung out financially, and then when the gasoline prices rose so suddenly, it tipped people over so they couldn't pay their other bills because they had to put their gas in to keep their jobs, and then that had a ripple effect.
Right. Do you see any kind of conflict between like people wanting to like restore American jobs and being green? Is there any conflict there, or do you think there's
yeah, I believe so, because I don't believe that's a sustainable lifestyle for the long run. The world cannot live the way Americans have been living for the last 50 years. There's just not enough resources for 9 billion people to live that way, and we're at 6 billion now, and the forecasts are for there to be 9 billion people by the year 2050. I think people are trying to sell a dream that you can be smart about the way you build cars, and that people are still going to be able to have them. I think if we're going to have to switch to mostly mass transit with only certain people who live in rural areas driving the cars, whereas just being able to rent a car on a couple hours for errands for it to work in the long run.
Mm-hmm. So, and like basically, so there's probably like a carrying capacity. Well, peak oil people think there's like basically there's a carrying capacity. We're like near the limit possibly, and there's only so many vehicles in the world. So if we push more cars overseas, there's going to be less people using cars over here until eventually we're all going to have to cut back, right?
That's correct. Well, I think it is. The more cars you get, the quicker you're going to run out of the oil. Mm-hmm. So the more cars you get, the shorter the time period you're going to have to switch to something else.
Right.
The idea was that it took us so long to get up to where we hit the peak, and then it would slowly decrease. But if we speed up the speed at which we're decreasing, then we're not going to have 20 years to develop electric cars or mass transit. We might only have 10 years when it hits.
Right.
So they were planning people who were fighting against it said, oh, we'll have 50 to 100 years, but it's not going to be that. It's going to be quicker than we think.
Mm-hmm. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
We're not going.